Hello, welcome back. Thank you for circling through. In today's video, I am going to be chatting about emotional sustainability and sort of how I try to keep balance. The important word here is try. The thing is, we're energetical beings, but we are having a physical experience. Because I know that I'm a human, I know that I need to be able to sort of balance times when I'm feeling really sad, when I'm feeling really angry, when I'm feeling really happy, joyous, or when I'm feeling just flat out dehydrated, tired, exhausted, or just super enthusiastic and energetical. The truth is, when you acknowledge that you are a physical being in this lifetime, you kind of have to be real about what it is that you're going through. And so for me, in my life, I'm 26. I'm I think in 2 weeks time I'm going to be 27, which is a big deal to me. I'm still living at home, and that was never my plan. I never wanted to live home longer than I think it was a year. I feel like it's one of those things where you have all these sort of hopes and dreams, and maybe a lot of it's got to do with movies and Instagram and TikTok, where you compare your life a lot to whatever version of being a 26-year-old looks like. A lot of that stuff isn't realistic, especially when you're living in the society that you live in, like ours, which is this really, really heavy, financially suffocating environment, because everything is so expensive now. Pleasure feels like a luxury at the moment, and that's real. So I think when I think about those things and I compare myself, and I'm like, yeah, I could be doing all those things, that should be me, that should be me, that should be me, but it's not, and so being at home has been a thing, a constant internal battle of me losing my independence, but also knowing that I'm gaining the privilege of being able to save for, like I said, life expenses, medical expenses, and dental expenses. I legitimately could never have been able to afford my braces, my double jaw corrective surgery, and now I'm at sort of the last hurdle where I'm trying to save for bridges, which is the last hurdle, which is another $7,000. Damn, it's really hard to not feel suffocated. This constant mantra in my mind around acceptance and really being I am where I am because I choose to be, and owning that completely, because you understand that ultimately choice is yours. And so I own that, and with that I feel that my power has been restored back. I think along with that, one of the other things that I've sort of had to accept is my choice around my education. And I'm talking about institutional education. I finished year 12, and then I went straight into high school, and I didn't leave university with a degree. That's a really big thing that has impacted my life. And sometimes I tend to skip over it and kind of pretend that it doesn't define my sense of intellect, my sense of creativity, what capacity I have to contribute to my community, and just who I can be. But the truth is, the society that I live in, it is a really big thing. It impacts how employers employ you. It impacts just being able to have your foot in the door, because just seeing that you have that gives enough credential for them to hire you. And especially being a young black queer woman, the barrier is so much more higher. Even though I am very aware of my capacity and my ability to be able to learn and grow and adapt, honoring the choice that I made, honoring it and fully being yeah, I made that choice, and I legitimately would never take it back. I would never take it back. I'm not saying that I might not finish uni, or I might not go back to it and study something else. I want to be able to give myself the opportunity to be as open as possible to whatever. I love having access to my body in a way that feels good, like dancing. I love dancing so much. A lot of my healing has come from being able to release a lot of trauma in my body, and also changing my relationship to my body. Even like cutting my hair, like, has been a really massive thing for me. For me as a queer woman, like, it's so important for me to feel like I get to own my body. And I feel like when I grow out my hair, or when I have like braids or extensions, there's a thing that happens where I get way too comfortable within the expectation of heteronormative standards around my sense of beauty, around the male gaze, the hetero gaze. And I just, even sometimes, like, feeling like I'm not queer enough. Like, it's whole levels. But the truth is, I feel so much more at home in my body when I feel like I get to have ownership of it. And having my hair short has always been like the closest thing to me ever since I was a kid. It makes me feel beautiful. It makes me feel free. It makes me feel genuinely happy to be in my own skin. And also knowing that within that vulnerability of going, no, I don't want to conform to this standard of beauty. I don't want my sense of worth to be attached to the strands of my hair. It's fabulous. Another massive thing is being with nature. Going on walks, as many walks as I can, even if it's for like 10-15 minutes, listening to the birds, gazing at the stars, looking at the moon, checking out, is it a full moon right now? Are there werewolves? It's nice to be out of your mind. It's nice to be out of, you know, your body, in the sense that you truly allow your spirit to connect with your environment. Listening to music, yes, that is in conjunction when I do exercise. I listen to a lot of music when I do exercise because, I mean, it just helps. It just helps. It just gets you going, makes you excited, makes you feel like, you know, you're vibing with the vibration. I love listening to old stuff, like really good for the soul. Like, my core music is R&B. It's just the way it's always been. I definitely did have a phase where I just like went down like indie, like rock, alternative pop, but R&B music always is healing for me. Always makes me feel so damn good. Being in op shops has been such an important part of who I am. I've always felt like there is such a richness in op shops because they offer so much character and they offer so much story and history in the clothing, in the bric-a-brac, in the furniture, in the jewelry, in literally every aspect of home living, human living. It allows me the opportunity to explore and own my own sense of style, which style is such a key element of being able to explore your own sense of freedom, and through that you're able to sort of feel yourself, you know what I mean? Okay, and then the last two things are eating fresh fruit and veggies. Always know that fruit and veg are central to me. It's why I love going to markets. Markets are a place of vibrancy. It is a place of culture. It is a place of human connection. It is a place of community, and also just a place that like genuinely creates like another space of cultural safety for people who come from different backgrounds. I love that about the West, because we just have such a diversity of different cultures out here, and markets is just one of those really awesome things that like bring people together. And food does that. Food just does that. And lastly, I think I would just say community in a whole, like your friends and your family, like making time to chat to them, talk to them, check in, talk about literally all the things that I just talked about. I think also mainly community in terms of like being connected to the world outside your world. You know, that's a really big thing to me, because in one sense the world gets overwhelming and can really put you in a very low vibrating kind of way, and obviously can create such an imbalancement, especially when you're on like social media, because it's just constant, it's constant information. It can become very overwhelming, but at the same time I think it would be such a shame to allow constant idea of not being in control to stop you from being able to care about your world and your society and what people are going through, and how, you know, you're contributing to those things as well. Like even talking about climate change, it's being critical of what's happening in your world. We're all connected, you know. We might not all engage with each other in the same capacity or have the luxuries that one another do, but I think ultimately I'm not of the mindset that, you know, blocking out politics or blocking out things around cultural conflicts is a effective way of being able to maintain a healthy state of mind. I think it is important to know your limits and to know your capacity in terms of what you can and cannot deal with, making sure you're creating like the right coping mechanisms to deal with them. And then also remember that you are not doing this on your own. So yeah, from one Libra to a sea of celestial beings, that is how I am currently trying to find balance and create some level of emotional sustainability, you know, as an energy, because life is just gonna keep lifing. I'm just gonna keep trying to figure it out. So it's really nice to be here again. It's really nice to be here again. And I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.